What if I told you that a simple nickel from 1964, sitting right now in your pocket, your car's cup holder, or forgotten in an old jar, could be worth thousands of dollars? Before you skip this video, let me stop you right there, because what I'm about to reveal about the 1964 Jefferson Nickel will absolutely blow your mind. This isn't just another coin. This is the last piece of American history struck in a metal that would vanish forever just 1 year later. And some of these nickels are selling for prices that'll make your jaw drop. Picture this. It's 1964. America is mourning President Kennedy. The Beatles are taking over the radio. And in the Philadelphia and Denver mints, something extraordinary is happening. Workers are striking millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels, completely unaware that they're creating the final chapter of an era. You see, 1964 was the absolute last year that nickels were made with their traditional composition. After this year, everything changed. The silver crisis was looming, metal prices were skyrocketing, and the United States Mint was about to alter the composition of nearly every coin in circulation. But in 1964, these nickels were still being made the old way, 75% copper and 25% nickel, creating that distinctive silvery appearance that collectors absolutely love. Now, you might be thinking, if they made millions of these, how could they possibly be valuable? Here's where it gets absolutely insane. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel holds multiple secrets, and if you know what to look for, you could be holding a small fortune without even realizing it. Close your eyes and imagine yourself going through your change tonight. You spot a 1964 nickel. Your heart starts racing because you remember this video. You look closer, and then you see it. First, let's talk about the full steps variety. On the back of every Jefferson nickel, there's Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's iconic home. Look at the front steps of that building. On most nickels, those steps are mushy, weak, poorly defined. But on some 1964 nickels, those steps are razor-sharp, fully separated, and absolutely perfect. We call these full steps nickels, and they're categorized as 5 full steps or 6 full steps, depending on how many individual steps you can clearly count. A regular 1964 nickel in average condition? Maybe 5 to 10 cents. But a 1964 nickel with full steps in pristine mint state condition? We're talking hundreds, sometimes over $1,000. One sold at auction for nearly $3,000. Same year, same design, but that tiny detail made all the difference. But wait, there's more. And this is where things get truly shocking. The errors. Oh, the beautiful, valuable errors. In 1964, the mints were working overtime, pushing machinery to its absolute limits to keep up with demand. When you rush production like that, mistakes happen. And in the coin world, mistakes mean money. The repunched mint mark errors on Denver nickels, where the letter D was stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a doubled appearance. These aren't just interesting, they're valuable. Collectors hunt these down obsessively. Then there are the off-center strikes. Imagine a nickel where the entire design is shifted, leaving a crescent of blank metal on one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable it becomes. A 50% off-center 1964 nickel can sell for several $100s. Some have sold for over $1,000. We're talking about the same 5-cent piece you'd normally use to buy bubblegum. And let's not forget the double die errors. These are the holy grail for error collectors. When the die used to stamp the coin is created improperly, it can result in doubling of letters, numbers, or design elements. A strong doubled die on a 1964 Jefferson nickel, especially on prominent features like the date or Monticello, can transform that nickel into a retirement fund contribution. Now here's what makes the 1964 nickel even more special from a historical perspective. This coin carries the torch of a design that had been unchanged since 1938. Felix Schlag, a German immigrant, won a competition to design this coin during the Great Depression. His portrait of Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back beat out hundreds of other submissions. For 26 years, Americans had been using this exact design. The 1964 version represents the peak of that production, the absolute height of the Jefferson Nickel's original era before composition changes came in later years for other denominations. Think about what was happening in America in 1964. The Civil Rights Act was signed into law. The Vietnam War was escalating. The country was transforming. And these little nickels were there, passing through the hands of people who had no idea they were handling the last of an era. Some of these coins were used to buy newspapers announcing world-changing events. Some were given as change during conversations that would become family legends. Each one carries that history, that weight of American memory frozen in metal. So right now, I want you to do something. After you finish this video, go check your coins. Look through your change jar, your car, anywhere you might have nickels sitting around. Look for 1964. Then look at that mint mark, that tiny letter that tells you where it was made. No mint mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. Then flip it over and examine those steps on Monticello with the brightest light you have. Count them carefully. Are they fully separated? Can you see all 5 or 6 distinct steps? Check the edges of the coin. Is everything centered perfectly, or is there something unusual? Because here's the truth that most people never realize. Fortunes are hiding in plain sight. Life-changing money is sitting in piggy banks, forgotten in drawers, mixed in with ordinary pocket change. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule, a piece of history, and potentially your ticket to something extraordinary. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Check your nickels today because you might just be holding treasure without even knowing it. And if you find something special, you'll remember exactly where you learned to look. Now go hunt for history.